So now we're here. First pick is the Windrunner here for LGD. That is something that they've been giving over to FY. Vici again, banning out the Void Spirit. They get rid of that Chalice, Nature's Prophet, Centaur, and Mars are banned for the off lane. And then for the side of LGD, they ban the Lifestealer 1, Ogre 2, Phoenix 3, Void 4. And here we are. I mean, it certainly, to me, is going to be an exciting series. On top of that, I mean, these teams have best of threes coming up later tonight, or later in the afternoon for them. I think it's 4:30 in the afternoon over there. And both LGD and Vici have series coming out. Death Prophet and the Timber Saw coming out for Vici, picking up their mid and their off laner here for Yang and Ori. Right away into those picks, and well, now we'll see how LGD have to go about countering this. Nyx Assassin available, but you've already got the Windrunner in the 4. And I almost feel like that makes the Vici side comfortable with picking this Timber Saw. And of course, we all know the last time these two teams met, in a best of 5, it was LGD that 3-0'd Vici. And that was only 4 days ago. So, you know, things are definitely going to heat up for this best of 5. I mean, this is potential revenge here for Vici. They go into the Ember Spirit here for the side of LGD, and now we're on to the next phase of bans. There's the Oracle ban. Let's see what Vici get rid of. This has been
10 seconds remaining.
Most likely the Somnus Ember.
PSG.LGD.
And now, actually, Vici, they're the ones who go into the Nyx Assassin. So, Nyx Assassin, Timber, Death Prophet. I like how this is lining up so far for the side of Vici. I like their lineup. I could probably ask for at least a another stun here for the side of Vici as they go to the Shadow Demon for LGD.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Ancient Apparition was banned in that previous phase there by Vici, and now they're going into their 4th pick. They've got their 2, 3, and 4, needing a 5 and a 1. In terms of 5s available for you, you've got the Ancient Apparition and Oracle already banned, as well as the Ogre. It could go maybe into a Shadow Shaman or a Lich, and there is that Lich that has become available this deep into the draft and gets picked up for Vici, which only adds to the appeal of this draft from Vici. It gives them Sinister Gaze, but more importantly, the Frost Blast Harassment inside the laning phase, as well as the Frost Shield to potentially play aggressively, and actually with that, so it works out really well. in the mid game too, which certainly feeling like a force at times. So we'll see what LGD go for. They've got 5 seconds left, needing their safe laner, their off laner, and they go to, I don't know, a safe lane Chalice Ember instead. Interesting. I thought that would be a Somnus Ember over mid, but they're going to go safe lane with the Ember, mid onto the Shadow Fiend for Somnus instead, and they still need that off lane pick.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So final bans coming out between both these teams. LGD needing an offlaner. Timber already picked. You've got the Legion banned, which was to be expected. Mars Centaur also banned. So let's see. What they want to do is they ban the Morphling. Yesterday against Vici. And the Mars, they went Nature's no, they went Legion Commander in the off lane and Clockwork off lane. I wonder if they're going to go to the Clockwork off lane once again, just because they've got this Shadow Fiend. It didn't work out for them. They ended up getting beat pretty hard. And they go to the Enigma. Wow, not a hero that you see all too often. So we'll see what Vici want in the one position. Got a lot of options here.
10 seconds remaining.
I think it's a little difficult for them to
5 seconds remaining.
stop this black hole. And they've got Sinister Gaze. They have the Impale. We'll see what they can get in terms of getting on top of this Enigma. Vici will see what they go for in the one position. Maybe a Phantom Lancer or a Naga Siren. Probably someone there who picks up a Diffusal Blade and can put some pressure on with the, with conjunction of the Death Prophet. They'll go Naga Siren for Eurus, Ori on the Death Prophet, PYW on the Nyx, Yang on the Timbersaw, DY on the Lich. And then Old 11 on the Enigma, Chalice playing the Shadow Fiend safe lane. Okay, so I thought they were going to put Somnus on the Shadow Fiend, but they keep it for Chalice. Interestingly enough. Huh. I don't know if I was really expecting that safe lane Shadow Fiend. So here we go, game one in this best of 5. So we'll take game 1 here. Start the best of 5 off hot. Or we'll wait for a second as we get a pause. Never mind. Gotta wait a little bit longer.
Could be worse. Oh, wait, no, it couldn't.
Balance.
Take a look here at what we've got going on. As we wait for this Nyx Assassin to come back, we've got Eurus going over to the safe lane. Should be Wraith Bands, maybe a Diffusal Blade to start this off for the Naga Siren. Then over on Ori. Expect an early Yules on this Death Prophet. For the Timber, wouldn't be surprised to see a Hood or Arcane Boots into a Hood. Let's just be in that position 5 and the Nyx Assassin. We'll see if we get the Meteor Hammer with this build and the extra Impale stun duration. For LGD, I want to see what they're going to go for here with a safe lane Shadow Fiend. I'm interested to see the game plan. Potentially a Yules here for Somnus. FY on this Windrunner once again. And this Enigma going Necro 1. Okay, so we've seen this with a couple of heroes that always look to bulk up on their farm. We've seen it with Lycan. I think we see it with Nature's Prophet. You know, heroes that are using units already. Lycan, Nature's Prophet, like I said. And now here the Enigma going into the Necro 1. Honestly, I think the way that has worked from what I've seen is not going straight into the Necro 3. We've seen some of these players, or some of these, you know, heroes and players go straight to the Necro 3 right out of the gate when I feel like all you need is that Necro 1 to really boost that farm enough. So, still waiting on the pause, still waiting for the Nyx Assassin. We got into this game 1 after a long break, hoping that it stays this way. We get to play on. God forbid somebody says, hey, like, listen, we've got ESL. Like, these pauses are coming in. And, well, they've got how long till ESL? 3 hours, 23 minutes to finish a best of 5. It could certainly cut close. That's for sure. How long did that best of 5 take at WeSave? Somebody said it was really quick. 21 minutes, 18 minutes, 30 minutes. So, just over an hour. Could we see that here? Quick 3-0. I feel like these teams are so close to each other that we wouldn't see a quick 3-0 like that again. But who knows? This could be a faster paced game from Vici in some ways. And they're going to be waiting on Naga Siren to get at least the Diffusal Blade. But once that Diffusal Blade is picked up and you've got, you know, the Exorcism working your way, trying to take these objectives, we'll see if they can ramp up the process. Although, LGD, they can certainly play fast and furious themselves. So it doesn't look like First Blood will be given up pre-horn.
The battle begins.
And here we go. So for right now, Chalice, he'll be paired up with X-Nova on the Shadow Demon. We've got FY over bottom to help out Old 11. Who, Old 11, at least from what I've seen so far with LGD, he is, and this is probably the wrong way to express this, but he's been the weakest link on the team. But the team has done amazing. You know, coming into this, they had really done a good job of, you know, stringing a bunch together. They had won, I believe, 9 games in a row. Then they ended up losing that series to Vici at ESL. But throughout those games, you know, I've watched Old 11, and I feel like there were times where he really felt like he was just getting too far ahead of himself or really finding himself out of position. And it ultimately became a hindrance to the team, but not enough where it was holding them back from any of those wins as DY chases down FY for an easy First Blood. And that's what I was talking about with this Lich. The early Frost Blast doing a lot of damage. And we see it there as they get First Blood, take FY out. And, well, they'll welcome him back to the lane with a TP on cooldown. But I'm waiting to see if Old 11 meshes better with the team. You know, it's obviously going to take some time. They're most likely scrimming, but it takes time to learn the play styles of a new team. So, you know, I think maybe it's just a little bit of the new scenery around him, the new, you know, supporting cast, and we'll see if Old 11 can start to put it together, because he's certainly an amazing player. He's had an illustrious career.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So, over mid, 8-6 right now for the Death Prophet. Somnus sitting here at just 5-3. So a couple of last hits shy as he'll pop a salve at about half health. Ori's in here at full health going into the Bracer, the Spirit Siphon onto Somnus. But Ori taking a lot of damage with the Flame Guard up. Somnus backs up, Crypt Swarm hits, a couple of right clicks come in, and he's back down to where he was pre-south. So the lane's staying pretty calm for the most part. You've got Yang here at level 3 going into the 1-1-1 build. Sometimes you'll see like Timber Chain and 2 in the reactive armor, or one into the Whirling Death and 2 into the reactive armor. Stun comes in on X-Nova as well as the Whirling Death. They've got the disruption out of the Timber Saw. PYW takes some shots. Chalice looking for short-ranged raise. Shadow Poison is not enough there to get the kill on the Nyx Assassin. Still just that 1-0 after the First Blood was had on FY's body. Eurus farming over bottom at 19, now 20-6. He's having a good time, and only 10-8 here for Old 11. So he sits level 3. He's got 2 into the Demonic Conversion, getting those Eidolons on the up and up. He's also got 1 for Malefice as Eurus. He really is playing this lane aggressively under the tier 1 tower, with no fear in his eyes. Meanwhile, PYW getting low. Somnus giving chase. He's got the slight and will use it to get a kill there onto the Nyx Assassin.
You have been denied.
So now they'll come through mid once again. DY sitting invis. He's got Frost Shield as well as the Frost Blast. Frost Blast gets used as well as the Frost Shield, and, well, they'll get the kill there onto Somnus. They also find the Impale on X-Nova, They've got 3 heroes here for the side of Vici. Get themselves a kill on that Ember. Take a look over at DY again, putting pressure on X Nova. Power shot flies in from FY, but the Frost Shield keeping DY healthy. The Shadow Poison, the right clicks, and they trade. Knock each other out at the same time.
Every coin helps.
Yang. Getting these raises. Disruption comes in. Chalice, though, throws the raise on the disrupted hero, and X Nova in a poor position. He will end up dead to PYW. 4-2 in favor of Vici. We're taking some damage out from Somnus. Somnus comes in with the Sleight of Fist once again. Sent level 5. He's got the Flame Guard ready, but level 6 for Death Prophet. Going the 2031 build and has the Exorcism ready to run. DY ending up dead. Chalice gets the kill there. He's still trying to run. PYW, no Impale available. So that'll allow Chalice to leave. FY pressuring forward on top, but doesn't exactly have the damage to do anything.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And this is all the while Eurus continuing to farm up really well bottom. Has those 3 Wraith Bands already. Will go into the Treads to follow that up. And this has been an easy game so far for the Naga Siren. So, old 11 now level 6. Has the Black Hole ready, but that will be really ready when he's got the mana for it, and he is short of it right now going into that Necro 1 and not having any mana regen other than the extra coming in from the Sage's masks.
Dire's
A couple hundred gold, or just a singular 100 gold short of getting that Necro book, that Necro 1. Meanwhile, FY towards top, Yang level 6. He's felt pretty safe up here at 40-2. No real issues, and FY needs to be careful. Timber Chain doesn't connect with FY, and now the raises come out onto Yang, who does get connected to the tree. He might just be dead. Chalice comes in, lands a couple of raises. The Shackle Shot from FY locks down Yang to get the kill. So we're even at 4. Really no surprise how even this game has been up to this point, but again, it's Eurus continuing to just have an amazing time towards bottom, 53-9 compared to the 28-18 of the lane opponent here of Old 11. The lane counterpart, though, of Chalice, sitting at just 36-9. So experience favoring Chalice. Or, favoring the Naga Siren. But overall, LGD with a little bit of an experience lead. The 2 heroes coming towards top. Both smoked up. PYW as well as DY making their way over. X Nova will break the smoke. The Shadow Poison comes in, and this might just fizzle from Vici. No other rotations coming in from LGD to really help this one out. As over mid, Somnus being harassed up by Ori for the moment, with the Spirit Siphon and the right clicks coming through. Sleight of Fist from Somnus, and then backs away. FY grabs the outpost. Meanwhile, Chalice gets himself another kill here on a DY, but they pop the Exorcism. They get the kill on a Chalice. They look for more. X Nova on the run will TP out successfully. It's a 3-time spree going the way of Ori, which is some good gold for the Death Prophet, putting Ori on top of the net worth, and now going after the tier 1 tower to work for a +1 of an objective with that kill.
top
So
tower
there it
has
is.
fallen.
Yang, though, might be in trouble. Somnus is here, and, well, he's got the Searing Chains, but Yang gets the Timber Chain a little bit further away. Impale hits. They're still trying to get this kill out onto the Timber Saw, but they will not catch up. They won't be able to land the raises from the Shadow Fiend, putting that extra damage, potentially get the kill there on the Timber Saw, so he leaves for free. Sometimes focusing that Timber, not advised. Finally have this Necro 1 out on the Enigma. He's going right into a BKB. Such a different build than what we've seen from Enigmas in the past. You know, we've seen utility Enigmas where they go into the mech and have the Arcane Boots finishing off Guardian Greaves, or getting a BKB in between the mech and the Arcane Boots and finishing the Guardian Greaves. So that 10-minute mark, both outposts controlled by LGD. Experience still staying relatively close. Yasha first for the Naga Siren. And then Death Prophet, of course, going into that Yules. Which is no surprise. We figured that would be the build. Shadow Demon gets the disruption out on Yang Ori here, though, to back up the Timber Saw. He still grabs the outpost, no problems.
Tower is under attack.
Somnus, he sits third on the net worth for the cores on his team, with just 4,200 net worth compared to Chalice towards the top 4,800. But it's the Naga Siren that's ahead, and the Naga Siren who's really pulling forward. And this could be a big problem here for LGD if they allow this farm to continue to really proceed as it has. PYW goes down here towards mid. Chalice gets a kill on Ori. Yang may be turning this into a kill on X-Nova with the Chakram, but the slow is out. Doesn't matter. Timber Chain hits. X-Nova is dead. And it ends up being a 2-for-1 favoring LGD.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Take away the trees. The Malefice comes in, as well as the Searing Chains. And Black Hole committed. They're going to try and get the kill here onto the Timber Saw. DY walks into it, but they've got the Sinister Gaze. They don't kill the Timber Saw, and they just lose all 11. He uses Black Hole, and there was no real good follow-up for it. Yang just gets moved from one part of the Black Hole to another before he ends up getting dropped. So, I mean, with that takes out the omnipresence of the Black Hole. If they still get Yang here, that is a bit shocking. However, now they've gotten themselves the Song. They'll use the Exorcism. They hit the Impale on X-Nova. They'll get the kill to the Shadow Demon. PYW takes a big shot from a power shot. Pops that wand. Gets himself back to about half health. And Remnant over Searing Chains, Sinister Gaze to lock up Somnus for an extra moment, but just an extending the inevitable death. Then they will pressure over the tier 1 mid, and that was Exorcism used. So big skills getting used in weird ways, that's for sure.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So 9-8 in favor of LGD, but still a little bit of a net worth lead here for Vici overall, and that's coming from the fact that Eurus is continuing to farm so well. Only sitting 500 gold ahead of Chalice now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So Let's see if Chalice can get quickly into the BKB. He's got the Shadow Blade over mid. They were looking for the silence on Somnus. And he's able to survive and remnant away. Sinister Gaze comes out on X-Nova, who doesn't have disruption, ends up dead. As Eurus gets the kill as he made the rotation. They also get the courier. Yang gets credit for that.
Dire's middle tower is under
And Shackle lands onto DY. FY helping old 11 to get that kill. Now back over towards mid. Looking for the Requiem potentially on Yang. Searing Chains don't land. And I feel like we're just using ultis. For the sake of using ultis. Maybe anticipating a Searing Chains connecting with that Timber Saw. What? Am I taking crazy pills?
Every coin helps.
So, continuing on, it's the first 10 kills here for LGD, but meanwhile, Somnus. I don't think Ori's put together this silence with that Yules yet. Meanwhile, Yang continue to pressure the tier 1 tower over mid. They've got the stun out on a Somnus as well as the Exorcism getting used. The Somnus can leave from this, and the Exorcism doesn't turn into much. That could be a big problem here for Vici. They at least go for X-Nova. They'll get the kill. They look for FY. They've traded PYW, but FY on the run with the win run. They'll commit the song for the 4-position win runner, and they will get the kill, but that's a big ult for a 4-position. Old 11 looking for the proper positioning, maybe to get into a black hole here, knowing that there's no more song. And let's see how maybe LGD respond to the pressure coming in from Vici. They have some TPs coming forward from X-Nova. Chakram comes across. LGD continue to move forward, looking for a Shackle to land. It doesn't latch to a tree. And Meow, they need to leave.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So even at 11, 1,000 net worth lead here
Dire's top
for
tower is
Vici.
under attack.
A back and forth battle that only ends with, I believe, FY and X-Nova dead, but I mean it cost them
Dire's
Exorcism,
top tower is under attack.
Song, Chain Frost was also used in that exchange. Silence hits onto X-Nova, Chakram, but the disruption will lock them up. They get the tier 1 tower mid, that's all they really came for.
Dire are scanning.
At least for now, despite the fact that they use that song chasing FY, and I mean the kill's the kill. It's a long cooldown to deal with, but if they could slow the pace of the game where it's, not there's no consequences to doing so, inconsequential was the word I was looking for, then it's fine at the end of the day. It opens up more space. You put some pressure on LGD. You're continuing to look for this Diffusal Blade. You lead the net worth overall on the Naga Siren. Then sure, yeah, let it rip as often as you want if you're gonna hold the pacing like that. Chalice gets the kill there on to Yang. So we've got X-Nova on the high ground here with PYW waiting on the low with Ori. Let's see if X-Nova and Somnus can maybe get something together. It's a good pacing here from Vici overall. I think it's working out in their favor, especially now that they're going to have this Naga Siren with the Diffusal Blade. So, certainly happy about that. have this ready to go, and now you need to figure out where your answers are going to be here from LGD. Old 11, is he still going into the BKB? Yeah, he's actually got the BKB. He wants the Blink Dagger next. He pops the BKB. Now what can he get out of this? Chain Frost gets thrown his way. The BKB duration is just about over. So the 10-second BKB ultimately gets wasted. But, well, they get the kill on the PYW. They lose Old 11. It looks like they'll lose X-Nova too. This is sloppy all over the place. Man, that was unexpected, quite honestly. I think maybe he was ready and thought his positioning was gonna get a little bit better there moving forward towards the Death Prophet as he popped that BKB, but a little bit too much space between him and Ori, and the BKB kind of gets wasted in that situation. Exorcism was used in that fight too. So high cooldown ulti used from the side of Vici. Ember's going into a BKB. They're going to have 3 BKBs on this team. They've got Shadow Fiends ready. Chalice has his going into the Silver Edge. You've got the 9-second BKB ready on the Enigma. Windrunner going into the Maelstrom picked up a headdress in between the Javelin and the Mithril Hammer. And yeah, when they get this BKB on Ember, they'll have 3. So 3-man smoke comes in from LGD. They're down 3,000 net worth. They need to try and find a way to get the kill here onto Eurus, but he cuts out of the jungle and leaves. Meanwhile, Chalice putting some pressure onto the tier 2 bottom with the help of FY. And this rotation coming over towards bot. Is it going to commit from LGD? I mean, they're going to lose their tier 2 tower top. They might as well try to commit and go for the tier 2 bottom, but waiting on some creeps, and a couple of heroes backed off the pressure coming towards the bottom lane. So Somnus, Ori here, Spike Carapace with the Impale. They've got the Silence. Do they have the damage? Sinister Gaze locks him up, and Yang gets the kill with Chakram. Somnus a little greedy in that spot by himself, and he ends up paying dearly for it. Meanwhile, they'll continue forward looking for Old 11. He's silenced up. He pops the BKB again, but this is another situation where he can't go and turn for a black hole. BKB about to run out in just a moment. Eurus comes over. Malefice is out, but they've got the Euls out onto this Enigma, and they get Old 11 again. These fights just not going nearly as well as LGD are hoping for, as X-Nova running away, but the silence comes in. Can they stop the TP? DY, no Sinister Gaze, as it was on cooldown, and X-Nova escapes. So that is the second time that Old 11 is just BKB'd, and it has turned into nothing. Actually, less than nothing. He's died in both those situations.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So Vici ahead by 5,000. Talked about how the pacing of this game really benefits them, as Eurus going into the Butterfly. He's got the Manta and the Diffusal already finished off. It's a spot where, quite honestly, Eurus feels, I wouldn't say unkillable, but certainly getting there and feeling like quite the difficult hero to deal with if you're LGD. So BKBs are ready for all 3 of these heroes. However, it's an 8-second BKB for Old 11. Still trying to find the right positioning to drop down a black hole, and it might not come until he's got himself that Blink Dagger. PYW moving in. BKB is popped. 2-man black hole comes through. There's the Remnant forward. They get the kill into PYW. Can they also get Yang? Searing Chains is out, but he pops the Guardian Greaves. It won't matter with a Demonic Purge on him, and the damage coming in from Chalice. They take a 1-2 punch to the gut, And now they're looking for more. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains locks into the Chain Frost bouncing around. And it's not a lot of damage, but with the Exorcism, they might even continue to turn this. BKB was popped by Ori as Chalice throws out the Requiem. He has to go invis with the Shadow Blade as he starts to run with the rest of LGD. Yule's coming through from Ori on the FY. The chase is on, the kill is there, and now they've got X-Nova in a little bit of trouble as they've got the silence on him. He needs to try and turn tail. Goes towards the neutral camp. The ensnare is there. The illusions, with the help of Ori's Crypt Swarm, will get the kill, and it ends up being, in total, I believe, a 2 for 3. So they go in Roche. Should take this Aegis pretty quickly. Now they've got this Blink Dagger ready for Enigma, but he doesn't have the Black Hole for 70 seconds. The Remnant forward, looking for the Searing Chains. They might be able to get the kill into PYW, who's running away with the Frost Shield on him, taking a lot of these shots and turning the attention of Somnus over on the high ground, split it from the rest of his team as Eurus gets the kill into X-Nova. Now looking over at Old 11. There's the song on the 2. Now are Vici the ones who are looking to fight off this. Yang with the Chakram right on Chalice. They've also got the Silence. He's got the BKB to work with. He's also got that Silver Edge up in just a second more. They want to be able to break Yang here, and that's exactly what they'll do. So no longer have the reactive armor. They've got the Shackle Shot that connects to an illusion behind him, but he's able to survive. Timber Chain's away. No, he can't. The last shot comes in from FY. They've got the Malefits coming through on a Eurus. He's trying to run. Old 11 with the right-click damage with the help of the Necro Creeps. Is it enough? Oh, Manta to survive a little bit longer. Shackle hits onto the tree by the Roche Pit. They'll take out the Aegis. Now they need to continue forward, but Ori, he's waiting inside the Roche Pit. He doesn't have Exorcism to play with and really doesn't have many tools to save the life of this Naga Siren, and they will lose Eurus once again. 6 times killing spree going the way of Chalice. FY being FY God, which is the appropriate name for seems to be his entire career. Was there ever a time they weren't calling FY God? I mean, he made a couple of stellar plays there. And the song, it felt like, you know, he songs, goes into the trees. It felt like a half commitment. I want a song, I want to do something with this, but at the same time, am I sure I want to go in? And it felt hesitant, and it ends up biting them. But still up 4,000 net worth, still not at top of the net worth as well. Going into the Heart next, we'll see if maybe Vici back up on the gas a little bit, try to stay a little bit more conservative and farm up the Heart before they fight again. And there's no Aegis to work with, no Roche for quite a long time. Maybe Vici back off, but they could keep the pressure on. You know, and it wasn't exactly LGD dominating, and they just took a really good fight, and they still have to string that, you know, back-to-back good fights here to bring themselves back into the game. BKB's popped. They've got the disruption out onto FY, but he still ends up dead. Chain Frost bouncing around with the BKB being popped by Somnus, so he'll be able to survive through that. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, Guardian Greaves purges off the chains. Now they've got the Chakram coming across Somnus, who needs to run without his BKB. X-Nova, no disruption for 8 seconds, but he'll throw the Soul Catcher out at Yang. Old 11, though, he's got the Blink Dagger, and he's got the BKB Black Hole ready to go. So 1-for-1 trade on 4 positions in that exchange that happened over towards top. Ags being built here for the Ember. It's a Daedalus next for the Shadow Fiend, who's really starting to right-click away pretty hard. And then, of course, we saw that it's the Heart next for the Naga Siren, who is 1,000 gold away from that Reaver and quite a bit away from finishing off the Heart in full. Now that you've got the BKB as well as the Blink Dagger, we'll see what Enigma goes for next. It will be the Ags. Adds the current level of the Midnight Pulse over to the Black Hole. We'll see if that adds enough to it. If he lands one, that grabs a couple of these heroes to put the fight in the favor of LGD right off the bat. Chalice moving forward, spots Yang. Now they've got the break. They have the Midnight Pulse down. BKB's popped by Somnus. He'll pop the Essence Ring, but he's dead so quickly without that reactive armor available to him. They're down to the low digits on these BKBs already for the side of LGD. Death Prophet also going for a heart.
Every coin helps.
PYW spots old 11. BKB is pop. Malphus hits here on the Nyx. Old 11. Now without his BKB, that brings it down to 6 seconds. Very freely using these BKBs. But felt the pressure. Felt he might not be safe, might not survive. So he pops the BKB and makes sure that he can. BKB next for the Windrunner. The only one who doesn't have a BKB or won't have a BKB is X-Nova. Won't be a part of the BKB club. Not very exclusive club though right now. That's for sure. DUI taking back the outpost at the 32-minute mark. Or about the 32-minute mark. Ags finally finished off here for the Ember. So it gets that upgrade to the Remnants. As Naga and Death Prophet look to finish off these hearts. When will LGD try to make a move, if at all? And it looks like they're setting up to potentially smoke here through mid. X-Nova's got 2 smokes available, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So they'll smoke. They didn't bring Enigma into this one. It's onto the point booster for this Ags. They work their way through the jungle, but they're not going to find anybody. Across mid, and let's see if LGD can take an advantageous fight. They're still down 3,000 net worth. They'll find Eurus, and he had the Silver Edge. Manta comes out from the Naga, but the Remnant forward. Searing Chains, BKB, there's the song. Can Eurus leave successfully? The right-click damage coming through. Here comes Yang. Another song for just a moment. They get the Requiem out. Hits on a bunch of these heroes. Fears them up. They've got the Shackle out onto the Timber Saw. And now LGD deciding that they might just need to leave. Power Shot comes through, and I say that Sleight of Fist hits on a DY. They'll get the kill there, and maybe they'll look for more. They've got the Remnant over on Ori. The Searing Chains hits on a 2. They've got the Black Hole to follow it up. They get the kill on Ori. Now they look over at Yang. Make it 3, and a double kill for Chalice. Backed up for a second, just wanted to reposition. They went back in with the Ags now here on Ember. Throws a Remnant forward. They get the BKB as well as the Black Hole down from Old 11 on 2 heroes. And LGD have brought this game back net worth-wise into their favor. Been a very good start for the side of Vici, but things starting to fizzle away as they no longer have the net worth lead. Searing Chains comes down to the Nyx Assassin. Eurus comes over, but the damage from Chalice. Oh. Jesus.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Guess I'll not throw this Impale and get like our 5th pause of the game as Eurus disconnects for a second. So game 1 here, 33 minutes in, and I guess combined with the pausing, I feel like it's been about an hour? Yeah, it's been some time. IG up against Newbie currently for ESL. 2 hours, yeah, so it's been an hour. 2 hours, 47 minutes until these guys have their best of 3s for the ESL 1 games.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So we'll try to get this tier 2 over towards top.
Radiant tower has fallen.
Somnus gets out with the spider legs. He'll TP away.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
A little low on health, a little low on mana. See if he backs all the way up to base. Meanwhile, towards the Roche pit with Aegis and Cheese soon to be on Roche when he respawns in a couple of minutes. So back up full. Back ready to fight. Keeps a remnant in lane. So, Vici, if this series, first of all, if this series goes all 5, and then they've got a best of 3 after this, that would put Vici playing 11 games in one day, potentially. If their other best of 3 would go the full length as well. Definitely a difficult schedule with the ESL games added on to this. Right now looking good for LGD. Old 11 decides to go away from that axe. So instead goes another direction into the Octarine core. Yule is being picked up for the Nyx Assassin next after finishing off the Meteor Hammer. Take a look at Chalice, who went to the Daedalus and now going into the Satanic. FY had that Maelstrom, now BKB. And FY feeling pretty good. I mean, level 20, Shackle Shot duration and everything coming up. BKB's popped by Old 11. Now he's trying to turn and run. Remnant's over. Old 11 doesn't survive, but they've got the Sight Fist as well as the Searing Chain coming out onto the Nyx Assassin as well as the Timbersaw. They'll shackle up the Nyx. LGD on the run. Eurus moving forward. He does have Song to work with, but he's not catching up to these heroes and won't be effective if he were to start singing. So they lose the Enigma, dead for 60 seconds, and Roche is up. So they will start it. We'll see if they can finish it. LGD coming over. If they could just extend how long this Roche is going to take for 35 seconds, and I know that's asking for a lot. They'd have to force Vici to evacuate from the pit, and we get another pause coming in. Continuing to lag, I guess. So can LGD do anything with this? They're invis on the Shadow Fiend with the Silver Edge. The rest of the team is smoked up behind him. Chalice looking for an opportunity to take this Roche away. Maybe make enough time here where Old 11 can get into this fight. But they don't actually control the closest outpost. So it'll be a long way away for Old 11 to even get here. We'll wait for Eurus to come back. There he is. So it looks like we're good to go once again. Or we're waiting. What is it? The water closet? WC? Somebody's going to the bathroom? Wash closet? Water closet. I don't know what WC stands for. I'm a stupid American, guys. So the unpause comes through. They've got the Silence as well as the Sinister Gaze out on FY. Who popped the BKB. Now they're looking over to Ori. Chalice doing a lot of damage. The Lotus Orb is out onto the Death Prophet, who popped the BKB. They look for the Requiem. They get the Kona Ori. And now they've got the Song. That stops the Requiem from flying in. Vici, Meteor Hammer coming through. There's the Remnant forward, but it's not going to save the life of Chalice. Now they've got the Yules out onto this Nyx Assassin, but oh boy, this is a big problem here for LGD. The Shackle comes out from FY. That's not going to save the life of this Somnus Ember, and back into the Roche Pit they go. So Aegis, Cheese, and Spike Carapace. Uh-oh. FY. Oh boy. Sinister Gaze, Meteor Hammer, slams on him. And Vici grabbed the Aegis and Cheese. They've got the Basher now picked up by Naga Siren, and problems afoot. This game continuing to just rock back and forth.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So now you've got Aegis and Cheese to work with.
Dire's bottom tower
What kind of
is
move
under attack.
are you trying to make here to potentially finish this game? Kai on the Timber. You have the Abyssal Blade finish on the Naga Siren. Meanwhile, PYW going into the Ags.
Dire's bottom
It
tower
will be
is
Refresher Orb and then Ags here for the Enigma, who did go for the Octarine Core. That Black Hole becoming a 102-second cooldown. Shackle comes through onto a creep, hitting the Nyx Assassin. We'll take the tier 2 tower over bottom. No more outer towers remain for LGD. $5,000 net worth lead in LGD. They haven't broken just yet. They've come back from higher deficits. Oh, Abyssal comes out on X-Nova. He'll disrupt himself, surviving for a little bit longer, but only extends the inevitable. Meanwhile, they get the kill on the DY, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Eurus moving forward with the Ensnare. He's also got the double damage. Song is at the ready. So now, how much are they looking to commit on this? Chalice now moving in with the BKB. Right-click damage is pretty heavy here onto Yang. Requiem hits, but he can't get the kill. The Remnant forward short of Yang now into the Song. Exorcism is outside of Fist. Searing Chains comes through onto the Nyx Assassin, but he's got the Meteor Hammer hitting down on to Somnus. They get the kill onto the Ember. He's dead for 94 seconds with buyback. They finally take out Yang. It's a 2-for-2. But that is a little bit of imperfect calculations coming in from LGD, as FY with the BKB will TP out. Chalice now trying to run. Yeah, right. PYW under your nose. Meteor Hammer coming through, but the BKB is popped by Chalice once again. However, the rest of the team is here to get the kill. 100 seconds with buyback now for Chalice. So 4,000 net worth lead. Things starting to really fall apart here for LGD. On the high ground they go. 11 looking to see if maybe he can get something out of this. Shackle comes out onto a couple of illusions. Ember and Shadow Fiend trying to hold the buyback. They didn't break the high ground just yet. Now they'll go for the tier 3 tower. Mirror image. Holding the Manta. Diffusal actually in the backpack right now with the Aegis on him. There's the disruption. Can they get anything more? They'll look for the Shackle. That doesn't land onto Eurus. Somnus back alive. 30 seconds till they have Chalice. She was finished out for Ori. Taking the range racks. Now can they get the melee racks? Eurus just continuing to lead forward. Disruption with the Soul Catcher. They've got the Lotus Orb out onto the Naga Siren. FY leading the charge a little bit. Just poking and prodding at these illusions, hoping that the Maelstrom gets a couple of procs. Going into the MKB next, they lose the Aegis, and now can LGD go for anything on the exit? They don't find anything, and they lose half the racks over top. So things for LGD getting dicey.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Minotaur Horn for the Ember. Let's take a look at what these tier 4 items are for both sides. They start to get picked up. Minotaur Horn for the Ember. On the other side here for Vici. Timeless Relic as well as the Prince's Knife. It's that Prince's Knife that gives the attack speed to projectiles, or attack projectile speed, as well as a 1.5 second hex. And then the Timeless Relic adding debuff duration and spell damage. So Vici looking for that moment. MKB finished off on the Windrunner. Lincoln's next for the Enigma. It won't be the Refresher Orb or the Ags queued up earlier. Instead, it will be the Lincolns. Levler picked up for Naga. That's a good one to have, trying to take the high ground. And LGD, really all they can do is wait for Vici to come back and try and finish this game. Don't want to get caught out too far. Don't want to end up losing the game outside of your base potentially, but they need to go at some point, and I guess now is that time. So the extra Eidolons coming in for the level 25. Extra Eidolon damage as well, so maybe Old 11 can defend, or even, if given the opportunity, can push with the extra Eidolons. BKB's pop by FY. Now they'll turn this around. The BKB comes out from Old 11 as well as Chalice. They've got the Black Hole out on a Yang. They'll get the kill on a DY, so they took out 2 with that Black Hole. The Remnant forward, they've got themselves the Disruption. LGD starting to turn this, and now Eurus needs to try and fight this back. Requiem comes through. That'll fear back Eurus as the song comes out. And songs up a couple of these heroes on the side of LGD. They've lost themselves X-Nova, and now their Remnants continue on forward. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains locks down this Naga Siren. The right quick damage coming out from this Chalice Shadow Fiend might be enough. But they've got the silence coming through from Ori onto this Ember, and now Ember's the one in trouble with the Exorcism right on top, and the damage coming out from Chalice isn't going to be enough onto the Darth Prophet. And now we take a look over at PYW, gets the Sun on to FY. They bought back on the Shadow Demon X-Nova, trying to help out where he can. Spirit Siphon out on FY, as well as the Shivas that slow him down. Finally gets the Disruption and holds the Death Prophet back, where the Exorcism will finally end. But the Ensnare comes out from Eurus, and now Shackle not going to be enough. Cleaned up easily. FY dead. So is Somnus, both without buyback. And it's an 11,000 net worth lead for Vici. Lincoln's finished for Old 11, but he doesn't have the Black Hole for 30 seconds. That's the help of the Octarine Core. It doesn't feel like such an insane amount of time to wait for that Black Hole. Potentially another defense, but they don't have Somnus for another 54 seconds, so they'll have to try and hold this until he's back up. It is a long and hard ask here to defend this 3v5, because they'll have themselves Yang in just a moment. Chain Frost bouncing off the Eidolons over to Chalice for a moment. They go for the tier 3 tower. They will get it. Eurus not committing to this one, but now they finally have the Black Hole back up. Still 20 seconds until they've got the Ember, 27 until Windrunner is there. Use the Spike Carapace on the Midnight Pulse. Meteor Hammer comes through. They'll get their range rack. So now LGD trying to defend. Got 8 seconds until they have the Ember up. 16 till the Windrunner is here. Silence hits on the Chalice. And Old 11 again looking for that opportunity. They are setting up near each other. And now there's the Blink as well as the Black Hole on a 3. This is the opportunity they were looking for. They've got themselves the Remnants going forward. PYW is going to be the only one who dies. They've got the Song. Can they survive through it? No, he can't. Eurus is there with 99 seconds on the sideline with buyback. Now they look over at Ori with the Remnant coming forward. Ori now hit with the Searing Chains, but the BKB trying to TP out. Can they stop it? No, they cannot. So Vici, they lose Eurus, they lose PYW. They start to take buildings, and this is getting harder and harder for LGD. So LGD, they march down mid. They've got these Eidolons. Look at how many Eidolons are here for Old 11. He brings an army. Brings his own Spanish Inquisition. X picked up by Chalice. Now they're going to work towards mid. DUI trying to defend. They want to force the buyback of the Naga Siren. They know that they don't have Song. They have Black Hole up in 48 seconds, so they might want to just go back and go for Roche. It's Aegis Cheese as well as a Refresher Shard, which would be perfect here for the side of LGD. But they need to seize the opportunity. They need to get the Tier 3 tower, and that's exactly what they've done. Now, how long do you stick around for? You haven't forced the buyback from the Naga Siren, and I think, again, maybe you might want to go for this second life. Go for the second potential Black Hole. Did a bunch of effects just stop working on my screen? Sinister Gaze comes out as well as the Chain Frost bouncing around from DY, but that's just a defensive one. Now we take a look over at bottom as now Exorcism comes through. Somnus backs off. Exorcism committed to this. They'll find the Yules out onto the Shadow Fiend. Chalice it with the Silence, but the Hex comes through onto the Death Prophet. They've got the Remnant forward, but they won't jump to it just yet. The stun hits. Oh boy, Chalice in trouble. He's down low. Needs to run. BKB's popped by FY. There's the Black Hole on the 3. It's the Requiem in death here. FY trying to do enough damage out from the side of LGD. They get the kill on Old 11. It won't be enough. Chalice dead for 93 seconds as the song comes through. They'll get the Meteor Hammer down on FY. No, they won't. He's got the Wind Run to sidestep, and it doesn't matter. They'll get the stun. They'll get the kill. They'll buy back on Old 11. Now they got to get Somnus out of this as he remnants back and forth and away. The BKB, can he get out of harm's way? Yes, he can. He finds himself far, but not far enough. Yang with the kill on a Somnus. 98 seconds with buyback. And problematic once again for LGD. So now the other way. Vici moving forward. Buyback comes out from FY. Chalice dead for 60 seconds. I wish that didn't jump. He's 150 gold short of the buyback. Bounty runes are available in a couple seconds. They'd love to grab one. Silence comes out as well as the Chakram with the Timber Chain coming from Yang. He's got that extra extension on it thanks to the fact that he's got that level 25 talent. Meteor Hammer drops down to the Tier 3 as well as the Illusions hitting away with Ori. They'll get the Tier 3 tower gone. Chalice not up for another 30 seconds. They've got the Shackle out. Stuns up Yang for just a moment. The BKB's been popped by FY. They've got the Demonic Purge on him as well, but he Timber Chains to the only tree right by the bottom of the steps. Now FY without the BKB. They pop the Lincolns on Old 11. The Chain Frost comes out on a couple of these creeps. Chakram whirling away on FY. They'll get the kill. He's dead for 2 minutes. No buyback. He bought back initially on this. They pop the Lincolns once again onto Old 11, who pops the BKB, now turns over towards DY, but that's not where you want to use that Black Hole. So he's now no longer with a BKB, and they're looking to defend. Remnants come over. The buyback comes out from this Lich. Now with the BKBs through the song, they'll try to survive. They've got the Requiem. They don't get the kill yet on a PYW, but finally with one more right click, they finally will. Timber Chain, that doesn't get him down to the low ground. That actually hits a tree that's on the high ground. Yang still far enough away. Old 11 looking for an opportunity here to get a Black Hole down onto Vici as they bought back on PYW as well as DY. Now over to Roche Vici. But this is a spot of the map that could be beneficial for LGD in taking this fight. Just have to go and get it. It doesn't look like they will. This isn't the quickest Roche. Time to go if they went right now. And a moment's passed. Chain Frost coming at Eidolons. Prince's Knight picked up for the Shadow Fiend. Ag's Blessing, that song really going to help out. Heal up these allies. The 10% feels like so much. Now they'll try to defend the tier 4s. Old 11 needs to find the perfect positioning, and it's really about Vici trying to stay split up. They're up 21,000 net worth. Now they've got Searing Chains coming out onto Illusions. Exorcism committed with a repair kit placed on one of these tier 4s. They'll get at least the left one. PYW back into the Ags form, and now they've got themselves the Black Hole out onto Ori. They'll get the kill there, but they've also lost X-Nova. They'll buy back on the Death Prophet. Now they look over. As burrowed into the ground is the Nyx, who just bought back. But he's got the Aegis. Got the refresher to get that Exorcism out once again. The song comes through, so that'll stun up all these heroes on the side of LGD. They get the kill on Old 11. He's gone for 2 minutes without buyback. They get PYW out of the fight. He's gone for 2 minutes as well. But now they've got the kill on the Chalice. He finally has buyback for this one. FY goes down. He's got no buyback. Down for 100. Now it's just Somnus and Chalice who try to do something with this. Exorcism still going around, and GG will be called by LGD as Vici take game 1, 53 minutes in. So the first game goes the way of Vici in a long barn burner that maybe could have ended had it been a little bit cleaner there from Vici earlier on, but instead, it takes 53 minutes for them to get the victory, 39-35. 11-2, 19 there for Eurus. He played a pretty good game on the Nagasarian. There were times where LGD were able to take him out, but they got those BKBs so early towards the end of these towards the end of this game, where it was all 5-second BKBs. It was very quick to just be BKB, and then all of a sudden they throw the song, they've got the Exorcism, and they can really run through these LGD heroes. So 16-5-7, not a bad performance there from Chalice. Somnus as well, 11-6-15. So not awful from the 1 and 2 of LGD. But we'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. Vici Gaming with a 1-0 lead in this best of 5 final. We'll be back in a second. I'm your caster Bkop at Bkop92 on Twitter. Find out to know when I'm casting next if you follow me. And we'll be back in a moment.